Rogelio Winter. He is going to have a presentation about the abstract apocalypse technique. Let's welcome him with a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rogério Winter. I'm coming from Brazil. My first time in Romania. I would like to thank organization of the event. I will present in in this presentation apocalypse technique. Do you believe in your protect system? This presentation is based on my book, or our book, because I wrote this book in co-author with other my colleagues. My agenda, introduction of theme, what is not apocalypse technique, what's apocalypse technique, and conclusions and questions, if you have. In this first slide, we can see hard problems. In 2009, DHS in the US defined 11 hard problems to solve on the internet, on the information security. You can see number 5, combating malware and botnets. It's difficult because in 1987, a researcher named Fred Cohen point out that the virus call on the biggest problems of information security. Cohen also demonstrate that it's impossible to code a perfect algorithm to detect all viruses and malwares. This situation is terrifying because you have many malwares that are launched every day, each day, about 25,000 new malwares each day. I would like to think about it. Are you sure that your systems are protected, really? Do you really test our protections properly? How are you testing our system? The last question is, are concepts in computer science consolidated or are they eventually reviewed and questioned? This is important because apocalypse technique explore exactly concept. Microsoft patch critical bug that affect every Windows version since 95. A serious flaw that exists for almost 19 years, November 2004. Again, concepts in computer science are consolidated. In 2012, my colleagues and I'm a lieutenant colonel in Brazilian Army, carry out a method to detect to efficiency and anti-malwares and antivirus that are used in Brazilian Army and Brazilian government. Because we are worried about efficiency. When you see a result VB 100, AV comparatives, solutions is almost perfect, but is not really. In this point, we tested. Oh, it's terrible. Believe in me. We test many brands, antivirus brand that are used in Brazil. And we detect about 50% or all antivirus used in Brazil detect only 50%. This is a problem. At this point, I will introduce what is not apocalypse. Apocalypse is a technique to test antivirus, to test anti-malware. The apocalypse technique is not a malware. Malware is different because they are limited in terms of the operating system, anti-malware vendor, and time. What is apocalypse? We call a cyber autoimmune disease. In this point, what is a autoimmune disease? What is a cyber autoimmune disease? And I will show a proof of concept this point. We start our comparison with human immune system and cyber immune system, because our interest in exactly immune system, because antivirus is a immune system. What is autoimmune disease? Autoimmune disease is a disease in which a person's immune system wrongly attacks its own healthy cells or tissues. There are about 8 types of autoimmune disease in the world. Vitiligo, diabetes type 1, and so on. In this point, we establish a metaphor to explain about this human immune system and cyber immune system. And the first, we have a skin. A skin, I think, is a semi-characteristic, a semi-function as a resident protection and antivirus or anti-malware. A dendritic cells, the same skills antivirus engine. Antigen are same characteristics of signature, and so on. What's apocalypse? Apocalypse technique is a proof of concept of autoimmune cyber disease. This technique is bio-inspired. The technique shows a misconception of signatures approach. And antivirus, we have basically 2 approaches, on the signatures and behavior approach. In this point, I will show events and actions. What happens when they use a technique, apocalypse technique, and what happens when the antivirus or anti-malware detected this point. The first element, biological name, cyber equivalence, antivirus actions, and attitude that this antivirus. The first, virus, cyber equivalence, malware, what detected this element, remove file. That attitude is right in this point. Harmless bacterium and commands in that file, cyber equivalence, and actions, attitude of antivirus is no threats found. Attitude is right. Bacteria infected to transport DNA of virus. Cyber equivalence command in back the file that's transport malicious code. When the antivirus detect, no threats found is detect. Antivirus attitude is wrong in this case because I have a malicious code inside the file. Again, I have a biological, a host, and a metaphor between an immune system and a cyber immune system. A host, we can compare a cyber equivalence, any benign program used for transport bacterium bat. When the antivirus detects this element, no threats found. That study is right. I have a benign program, a beginning program, all files are user files that tested in the antivirus. Infect the host, infect the program that transport bacteria which was contaminated of DNA of virus. In this point, antivirus, again, no threats found, but the attitude is wrong. Excuse me, is wrong. Attitude is wrong because I have a malicious code inside my host, my infected host. And then finally, I have a healthy cell, cyber equivalence we call user file, a software, benign software, or operating system, file of the operating system. Antivirus actions, no threats found. That attitude is right. In this point, we have a trigger that starts autoimmune cyber disease. Because in this point, when I infect a file, I infect a program, antivirus not detect this process. In the biologic name, a bacterium transmitting the DNA, a cyber equivalence commands in bat file, antivirus action, no threats found. But attitude in this case is wrong because I have malicious code inside my file. At the second situation, I substitute whole parts of my file with a DNA my malicious code or malicious code. At this point, no threads found. Consider this attitude is right or wrong, because in this case we have, or in this case, attitude is wrong, is not considered. This is my trigger to autoimmune cyber disease. Again, after this contamination, I have a cell infected with a virus in no invasive way because I put inside the file a malicious code. A cyber equivalence, any user file, programs or operating system, antivirus actions remove this file. Attitude of the antivirus is wrong because I have a user file, a user of the system, and beneath the program that I remove the file. And in the last, we have a cell infected with a virus in an invasive way because I substitute whole part the content of the file with a malicious code. Antivirus actions remove the file. That attitude is right because inside the file I have malicious code, only malicious code. How does miracle occur in this case? This bacteria will guarantee a camouflaging protection of the virus. I use only native language in the operating system. We can use any part of malicious DNA. There are many malicious code spread around the world. DNA virus select some antivirus will be affected, in others not. But in this point, there is a special DNA that affects all. This is string. Anybody here know what is this? Yeah, this is a antivirus test file. IEACAR defined this a test antivirus malware. This is a devil and string that destroy antivirus or destroy a system. After this point, after contaminate the file, antivirus act and destroy and remove the file inside the system. Let me see. I will show what happens when the Okay. No. Yeah. Yeah, this movie we show a proof of concept what happens in the antivirus. We tested 150 antivirus in the same situation. We use IECR car, and antivirus not detected this situation. uh, Apocalypse technique delete all files inside the system. In this point, security flow insert high levels of mystery in a user. Previous knowledge about the threads is necessary to companies. It's very short, this video. Okay. This is a geographic distribution of antivirus or a company's antivirus. We saw in Romania number one company antivirus. Today I found on the internet 180 80 companies antivirus company, but how apocalypse will affect the government, companies, and people because you every people use antivirus in particular in Windows. Companies use, government use to detect, to defend against threats. Signatures and hash to identify and distinguish appearance is not not the attitude of software. Even the heuristic concept carries with it the detection of several indicators of signatures or stereotype of a thread. In this point, we will either use it or not. If you use, you will vulnerable apocalypse technique. If you not use, you vulnerable a hundreds of malware that exist in the wild. I think it's not no easy way out because when the special technology that they use to defend is vulnerable in the apocalypse technique. My conclusion, to sum up my presentation, this is a book is present in the create space in Amazon, on the Facebook, Apocalypse Apocalypse Antivirus. Please free to contact me and Gmail or via Skype, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and so on. Well, questions? Send me an email. If you have a question, send me an email. I will have a great pleasure to respond about these questions about the apocalypse.
Hi. I think it's a very interesting method to use methods from biology in order to investigate malware and to fix it. Do you think that the answer lies in this? Because the biologists work very hard on this, on trying to remove viruses from DNA. Do you think this will help us improve this method? And we should work together with them, share our resources.
I'm not a biologist. This is a only metaphor to compare the situation, because when I saw what happens, the apocalypse technique, we need to construct a theory to base my technique. This is only. This DNA we call only parts of the malware of EACAR to test. We call this is a DNA.
I think you could look into bioinformatics, because there are some algorithms that might help, some methods for this.
I think I think it's a problem. A product and malware, there are basically two technologies: signatures and behavior approach. But behavior approach is used only in a company, not in a machine, because all antivirus that we tested are behavior approach install or activate in a machine. I think the solution of software take indicators inside your computer and send to a company and translate to signatures. Because all antivirus was installed used heuristics approach, or behavior approach. I don't know. I think there are many algorithms used to trace behavior of a software, a virus, and so on.